What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com. Let's talk some Sunday night football. Cowboys at the Eagles as we get started. Apologies, I'm on the road. It's a roadie here, but I'm not leaving you hanging. Going to talk some Sunday night football with you. So sorry for the picture. Sorry for the lighting. Sorry for the sound. It'll all be better. You know me. It's typically high quality stuff around here, but on the road, want to get you the video anyway, though. Let's take a look here. It is sitting 6.5 in favor of the Eagles. 42.5 is the total. Guys, this has moved a couple of points. This hit a low of 4.5 in favor of the Eagles. This was when there was some concern as to whether or not the offensive line was going to look, completely beat up for this Eagle squad. Ends up everybody's going to be out there for this team, and this thing just rocketed through the Civic key number of 6 all the way to 6.5. Now, whether that is going to get to the full touchdown by kickoff, probably not. Cowboys, pretty popular betting team, probably not going to get to the full 7, but just pretty interesting that it's kind of one of those deals we've talked about before. And it's like it's a known if you just follow kind of practice reports and things that are going on. Like, it was pretty known that this offensive line was going to play. I played the Eagles at 4.5. I know that doesn't mean anything to you because you can't get 4.5 now, but I played the Eagles at 4.5. Because if you followed the practice reports, it was pretty obvious they were going to play. But then it waited until it was completely, confirmed these guys were going to go, and then the thing rockets 2 points. So just something you can certainly get ahead of some of these moves with the general public that doesn't follow the reports and stuff if you just do that. So that's easy little tip along the way here. So look, story Cooper Rush. We know Cooper Rush going to go. We're talking about a team that has. I think there's been a lot more made of Cooper Rush than is actually warranted. Look, this is a great defense, and the defense has been playing really well. But if you look at what this defense has actually gone up against, though, let's go back and kind of like maybe trace our steps. And I'm not saying the defense is bad. It's a good defense for Dallas for sure. But Cincinnati in week 2, in which Cincinnati's offense might be broken. As long as Zach Taylor's running the thing, it might be broken, right? This offensive line, certainly in week 2, was absolute garbage. Then they get the Giants in week 3. Then you get the Commanders in week 4. And then you get the Rams in week 5. Every one of those offensive lines that I just mentioned are in the bottom 10 in the NFL. 3 of them are in the bottom 5 in the NFL. They got Tampa in week 1. Tampa won that game 19-3, if you remember. But Tampa's offensive line is terrible. So I'm not saying this defense is bad. I'm just saying they have had a very favorable 5 weeks in order to kind of get some counting stats and things like that. Micah Parsons is awesome. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, listen, consider what they've got going on right now, right? I mean, like, they got a pretty good little 5-week stretch with everything. So why did I play the Eagles? Well, I think that this is a huge step up for this Cowboys team. I just read you off their schedule that they played so far, and I think it's a huge step up for Cooper Rush. These defenses that he has gone up against as well. Again, it's just not a murderer's row. Cincinnati Bengals, the best defense he's gone up against. I mean, I guess you could say Tampa. Tampa injured in week 1 and all that. It's fine, but that was still Dak Prescott for the majority of that game. So look, what you're getting here, right, is Rush against Cincinnati, New York, Washington, and LA, all of which, outside of Cincinnati, defense has been pretty mediocre, all of which, by the way, they've scored 20 points, 23 points, 25 points, and 22. Now, don't get me wrong, that was enough to win the games, but mainly because the defense was able to hold these teams to so few points, right? I mean, that's what we have to consider in all of this, that this defense has been playing I think this is a one-sided team. I think this is a one-dimensional team with Cooper Rush at quarterback. He threw for 102 yards against the Los Angeles Rams, and they still won the game. So just something to think about. This Philadelphia team is the most complete team in the NFL. They are top 5 in offense, DVOA. They're top 2. They're number 2 overall, Pro Football Focus offense. Their pass offense, 7th and 3rd if you go from DVOA to Pro Football Focus. Offensive EPA, 5th overall. Yards per pass, 1st in the NFL. Early down success rate, 6th. Early down EPA, 6th. Then you go over to the defensive side, where they are a top 5 defense against the pass. They are 3rd overall DVOA, 7th overall, according to Pro Football Focus. Then you look, yards per pass allowed, best in the league against. Early down EPA defense, 3rd. in the NFL, yards per play defense third in the NFL. It's just a massive, massive step up here in competition for this Cowboys team and specifically for Cooper Rush. And I think it's a fairly straightforward handicap here. Now, it's gotten to the 6.5, and you're saying, okay, Matt, it's at 6.5 now. I get it. Nobody wants to get the worst of the number. Nobody certainly wants it to like get through that, getting that key-ish number of 6 now, right? And that kind of sucks. So do you play it in a teaser? Do you look to, take that thing down to basically a pick and then put it in with another team? That is an option to go. There are alt spreads that you can play where you have to pay a little bit more juice, but there are alt spreads that you can play. There are other ways to attack this game if you don't like the 6.5. If I had to play this, I would still play the 6.5, but I can understand if you didn't want to because of how this thing kind of got away. From a total standpoint, again, I lean under. I think the total's appropriate. The thing is I just don't know what this Cowboys offense is going to be able to do against this defense. I don't know what Cooper Rush is going to be able to do against this defense as well, right? They're 5th in pressure rate, and they don't have to blitz all that much. They blitz like league average. So the defensive line's getting home. So he's going to be throwing into full guys in coverage. I think that this is just a super, super bad matchup and a super, super big step up in competition for Cooper Rush. And I think with all of that, if you look, he's 23rd in Pro Football Focus grade, right? 30th in success rate, 29th in completion percentage over expectation. So, it's a fine story. He's done fine. He hadn't lost the game for the team by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not as good as everybody is making this out to be. All right. So, of course, we have the article over here. You know how this goes. You go up to NFL, and then you come down to Sunday Night Football so you can get the full preview here. Also, we're giving away money. So everything we do is free, guys. Hit that subscribe button, please, while you're here. $100 Amazon gift card if you are a subscriber, if you were to win that contest. From a prop side of things, I pulled up Jalen Hurts, and look, it depends on how you kind of think this game's going to go, and we'll get to that in the same game parlay section here. But look, I think this stuff is all fine and dandy, but honest to God, I think that he's going to do some damage with his legs as well. Like, I think what we're going to see is this offense understanding that Micah Parsons and all that and that defensive line has caused a little bit of havoc. Now, the offensive line for the Eagles is awesome. Might be a little nicked up though. And I think they're going to call some design run plays or some like kind of RPO stuff and different things like that and get him outside and have him, give him the option to do some crazy things on the outside and everything. And, the fact that this is sitting at 50 yards, I really do like the over on his rushing prop here for Jalen Hurts. I think the damage gets done with the legs, and I am, this is a guy that's already, breaking records and stuff like that for quarterbacks rushing, and I really do like him with his legs in this game. From a same game parlay aspect, so you can kind of like tell the story here with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts having a good day with his legs, which is, right here is kind of like the Eagles money line. And then you have Jalen Hurts as an anytime touchdown because, he calls his own number inside the 5 a lot and whatever. I have the under 51.5 points. Of course, the key number of 51 from a total standpoint. I think this is, again, I lean under. I don't want to play it at 42. You can kind of play this alt total. If you think, there's other ways to play the alts as well. You can play under 48.5, under 47.5, whatever, if you want to get a bigger payout in the same game parlay. And then, of course, if I had that, then I have him over the rushing yards. And I played a little bit higher. You can play more conservative if you want to. That pays, 4.5 to 1 on this thing. Now, you can also tell a different story, right? If you don't say like, no, Matt, they're not going to let him do anything with his legs. They're going to leave a spy out there. Well, they're going to leave a spy out there. He's got enough weapons to really go after that, right? So instead of like having a rushing, prop here for him, and then we'll come and we'll remove this touchdown scorer, right? So we'll remove that, and then we'll go to the passing props. Get out of there. Then we'll go to the passing props. So they're going to spy him. So now he can't run. Well, if he can't run and they have a spy, then they're not covering somebody out there, or there's going to be somebody who's going to be able to find some openings. So then we'll just go and we'll play a passing prop, right? So he's going to go for, he's going to go for over 225 yards in this thing, and he's going to throw 2 touchdowns, which then at that point, oh, that's Cooper Rush. My bad. Sorry about that. Jalen Hurts is going to throw 2 touchdowns. Where it is. There it is right there. And with that, you get up to the 4.5 to 1 as well. So it's kind of like you can tell the leg story, or you can tell the passing story, or you can tell both of these and put them in the account and hope one of the narratives gets home. And again, we're hitting at 4.5 to 1. So you can, put both of them in there. It still makes a profit as long as the story goes one way or the other in this thing. So I really do like the Eagles a ton in here. Look, the Cowboys can prove me wrong. This could be their opportunity to prove me wrong. I just don't think that this is the matchup for them to prove me wrong. I mean, it's Cooper Rush has just been look, if you can look at turnover worthy plays even and things like that is all, going against him. Like he hadn't done any interceptions, but he's got 5 turnover worthy plays according to Pro Football Focus. There's just a lot of stuff that really does lean in Philadelphia's direction here, guys. So that's where I'm going with this. Again, I know I got the 4.5 not available anymore. You can play an alt spread. You can play this in a teaser, or you can just lay the 6.5 if you want to. Again, if I was playing it today, if I didn't have anything in my account, I would still lay the 6.5 before I would take it with the Cowboys in this thing, because I do think that this Eagles team is a big step up in class for them. Guys, as always, everything we do, absolutely free. Appreciate you being around. And listen, sorry about the lighting. Sorry about the sound. Promise you won't happen again. Just traveling and wasn't able to bring all the extra equipment with me on this trip. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And let me know in the comment section, how are you going to play this thing? What are you looking at? Is there a prop that you like? Am I totally wrong? Are the Cowboys going to win this thing outright? Whatever it is, let me know, and appreciate it. Good luck on all your bets here Sunday Night Football.